Shalom to you, giving all praise and glory to you. How about Shemel Shai, Bashim Kakodash, and give the double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, who well, peace and salutation to you, elect. Shemel Mappa is a Mappa from the great millstone, Plaintables camp of Philadelphia, coming with another week lesson. It is currently July the 12th, 2025, hopeful year of our deliverance, the deliverance of Jacob, and the destruction and judgment of Esau Edom. Who Esau Edom is, and the so-called weight man, and claims to be pure but is not. And you can see, of course, the Yub, which is the hostility and enemy, the hatred against the tribes. Okay, I mean, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right now, primarily, the focus is on the Latin tribes. Okay, and trickling down to different Southern Kingdom tribes, which Southern Kingdom tribes are Judah, which would be so-called Negro. Benjamin is so-called West Indian. And Levi is the Haitians. And these are all Israelites, okay? And they're here in America, and they come to seek better opportunity from the different countries which they migrate from. But Esau Edom is living out his blessing, but his blessing has come to his end. So he's coming with great wrath, as the scriptures say, which I'll just get. This is Revelation chapter 12 and 12. Revelation chapter 12 and 12. And it says here, which I can even start a bit above. This is Revelation 12 and 10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God," or our power, "in the power of his anointed one, Mashiach," which is Yahushai, whom we will ignorantly call Jesus Christ. "For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them," being the Israelites, "before our God day and night." And we are, of course, as you go into categorical, we are given accusation of offenses from the Edomites, and they bring that to the Most High through witches that pray for our downfall. Okay, and they overcome him by the blood of the Lamb being Yahushai, and the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Right, and the only way to have the victory over Esau Edom is through this truth, through this knowledge. All right, through the remission of sins which come with the grace that came with Yahushai's death, which due his stripes were healed, and we have access to the salvation. You have it, the purging of the 2/3 will happen here in Babylon, the Great America. All right, 2/3 or 2 parts will be cut off and die. All right, pursuant to that'd be Zechariah, I think that is 14 chapter, which it tells you. Zechariah chapter 14, I believe, or Sephia. Get it real quick. This is the book of Zechariah 13, actually, pardon me. And it says, And it shall come to pass that in all the land, which the land is America, said the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Okay, and you have the 1/3 that's going to be that remnant, and the remainder and rest whom the Lord's going to cover. But you have the rest of the 2/3 that are remaining at 66.6 that's going to be caught in this judgment in America. And many of them have come over here from these countries, and Esau Edom has identified and have records on them, via all of his technology, and will pursue them as Esau Edom has always done. Okay, since the Barashiath, the beginning. All right, do that spirit that's within Koyan. Okay. You had enmity, even what with the serpent. I mean, you had envy even through the spirit of the serpent, which is another man, another nation. Same spirit within Esau. Back in the beginning of the garden. Okay, with the nations envying. All right, the chosen Adam. All right, which is a son of the power. All right, our sons of power. Okay, and as we know with Esau, he wants blood. Period. Okay, which I'll get that real quick, and then we'll go to the Revelation, and we'll just play the news story, and we'll make that a lesson very quick. Genesis chapter 28. Or 27 and 28. Or 27 and 40, I think it is. This is after the blessing given it to Yaakov, Jacob, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, used like foreigners as well. And it says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword thou shalt live. Shalt thou live and serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are at hand, and then I will slay my brother Jacob. Okay, so way back from the beginning, Esau had had this intent within his heart. All right, to kill or murder, premeditated Ratzah, Yaakov, Jacob, and he just carrying it out. Okay, at this end. So we're just gonna play this. Fair use worn out only in this footage, just for educational purposes only. Judge orders Trump administration to halt indiscriminate immigration stops, arrests in California. And the word, as you're going to, indiscriminate. That word indiscriminate mean done without making distinctions. So they just pretty much picking out anybody that they see that look of a certain tribe, and just making these halts, making these stops, and getting you caught up within their pursuit to rid the tribes.
Los Angeles federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to halt indiscriminate stops and arrests, specifically raids that target people based on the color of their skin or where they work.
Exactly, which is just the tribes. All right. You know, Esau was made what red like a well, he came out red like a hairy garment, lacking melanin. And in the tribes, you know, Jacob, of course, was a man of color, of hue, and he knows exactly who the tribes are. So he is really distinguishing who you are, but it's like he's going to a specific place to get y'all, but it seemed like it's like, damn, that's all the tribes. Like, he don't know that this other person is an American citizen. Looking at all the same as an enemy, as he has always done.
Order also bars the federal government from restricting attorney access to the detainees. So what does it all mean, and what happens next? John Panelio joins us live from...
Play it back too. Fair use warning, by the way, from KTLA 5.
A Los Angeles federal...
It's for educational purpose only.
Judge has ordered the Trump administration to halt indiscriminate stops and arrests, specifically raids that target people based on the color of their skin or where they work. The order also bars the federal government from restricting attorney access to the detainees. So what does it all mean, and what happens next? John Panelio joins us live from the KTLA News Center with more on the judge's ruling and its impact. John?
Sure, in court, this ruling came late this evening. The federal judge in this case granted 2 temporary restraining orders, directing federal agents to stop racially profiling suspected undocumented immigrants and to ensure that those who have been arrested have meaningful access to attorneys. The judge is essentially calling the government's conduct not only troubling, but possibly unlawful.
Which, like I say, we are heading into Yaquab Tazarah, or Jacob trouble. Okay? You tribes gotta understand that. And a lot of things, you know, to most people, most individual, are gonna seem as if, hey, why is all of this on me? They can't do that. But they can. The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, gave the green light onto Esau Edom to be his sword, pursuant to Psalms 17, I believe, verse 13. He gave him the blessing as a sword, as I showed y'all in Genesis. Psalms 17:13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And you have it, Jeremiah chapter 30:7, and it said in 6 it says, I started at verse 30 and 5. It says, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, and as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Okay, that's from the fear. Okay, and people are gonna have fear and be fearful in these times. You know, they have this online. There's a thing they say La Migra, which is like immigration, I believe. And immigration, which is basically Esau, you have different crews that are in these cities pursuing the tribes, doing raids, okay? And these are going to turn into some ramped up pursuits where, you know, you're going to have all out trouble out here, okay? And it's going to be beyond just Esau with these different mercenary groups going into pursuing you. Yeah, it's going to be troubles beyond anything you've ever seen. It's going to be horrible. All right, it's going to be a nightmare. It says, alas, for that day is great. so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he, being the elect, shall be saved out of it. Okay? You got to be part of that remnant. Let's go.
Buddy! After weeks of aggressive
You see
immigration
how,
enforcement,
you see how he just pursued him? You just see how he pursued him? Okay, he pursued the woman being the nation of Israel. This dude thinking he running. Look, that Edomite actually caught his ass.
after weeks of aggressive immigration enforcement,
These guys are huge. You know, they work out. You know, they on steroids. Okay, and they're shooting boot, and they're on a mission by the Lord.
tonight,
They're on a divine mission to cut off 2 parts. Okay, it's 2 parts. Have a lot of these Israelites that are from these Latin and Negroid tribes, so-called Negroid tribes. All right, that are wicked. Okay, and that are not covered by Yahweh Bashem Yashai on this side.
federal
Because
judge
all Israel will be saved, but they're going to come through the seed of the elect in the kingdom. They're going to die on this side. Okay, 2 parts are going to be cut off here in America.
is stepping in. In a strongly worded ruling, U.S. District Judge Mame Frimpong temporarily barred federal agents from targeting immigrants
Look at these guys are suited up like the U.S. Army. Okay? Head to toe. You can't see none of their identity.
without clear cause and demanded they stop denying legal access to those in custody.
Damn. No legal access. So you just out there on your own. Okay? And word is they're taking these different, as they call them, migrants, and throwing them basically overboard from airplanes and such, cargo planes. Okay? That's what it said.
The decision follows a lawsuit from a coalition of civil rights groups, including the ACLU of Southern California.
So there are 2 restraining orders that we sought and which she granted. One is to provide fulsome access for lawyers to get to arrested people that are being held in a basement in downtown after they get picked up in these raids.
Yeah, didn't we tell a lot of you Israelites that y'all gonna be locked up in a basement, chained up somewhere? You know, a lot of times we were referring it to a lot of Israelite women, but a lot of you men too. Okay, locked up to a basement and just done whatever with.
So those people have to.
Prophets, which is really the Lord's voice, wasn't saying that for nothing.
Attorneys have to be able to access them. The judge ruled that ICE and Border Patrol and these immigration agents cannot stop people solely based on their perceived race or the language that they speak.
They doing it anyway.
Kind of
And
work.
a lot of tribes glorify themselves in just speaking Spanish and not speaking English here in America. You know, Esau don't like that.
They do.
Even though that's still a oppressor tongue. We're Hebrew Israelites.
Or the location.
I mean, Hebrew is a
where they're at.
language.
They have to have some other information that provides them reasonable suspicion that they're in the country unlawfully.
Government lawyers and officials with the Department of Homeland Security have denied the allegations.
Like the bubble bath wash. They did it over here in Philadelphia too. Y'all got certain jobs, bubble bath washes. You work at certain construction jobs. They coming for you.
Since early June, hundreds of federal agents have been deployed across Southern California. Arrests have taken place in parking lots, job sites, and on sidewalks. Many incidents captured on bystander video. The judge specifically called out what she referred to as, quote, roving patrols. And
these guys are itching to get it going. You don't see that dude tapping his finger in anxiousness this is a military vehicle, okay? Armored up.
The judge specifically called out what she referred to as, quote, roving patrols and racial targeting, saying those actions likely violate the 4th and 5th Amendments, writing in part, what the federal...
Women too. Where do you think she going? Where do you think she going? What they gonna do to her?
What the federal government would have this court believe, in the face of a mountain of evidence presented in the case, is that none of this is actually happening. The Department of Homeland Security responding to the ruling on X, saying, quote, "A district judge is undermining the will of the American people. America's brave men and women are removing murderers, MS-13 gang members, pedophiles, rapists, truly the worst of the worst from Golden State communities."
And they have put y'all under this guise. This is them accusing you, okay, categorizing you, and putting you as nothing but criminals instead of just people that have came here illegally to pursue the American dream. Okay, they putting y'all under these things as if y'all just straight up criminals, which by their law you're a criminal anyway when you enter or stay within this country beyond what you have been justified to be able to be here for. Okay, being that if you came in this country without proper documentation, or you came in this country under certain permission to stay for a certain time with a visa, etc., you overstay your time. Hey, they want you. They got all those records, okay, in different cases. And if they don't have the records, they will make some type of record or make some type of charge against you. All right, the enemy is not playing fair, which he's not supposed to anyway, because he is the enemy. All right, the scriptures tell us never to trust thy enemy. And a lot of our Israelite counterparts, they have been fattened up by the dainties that are within America and that American vision. And now that American vision is becoming that complete nightmare. All right. Sirach chapter 12, and this is verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like iron rusteth so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as though thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. All right, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he standeth up in thy place. Neither set him at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at that the last remember my words and be pricked therewith." Okay, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any as some come nigh to wild beasts? And you come into America, it's just only let you to the serpent, Esau Edom. Okay, being that slick and very cunning man, and he's a cunning hunter. He knows how to hunt. Okay, and you set him as an authority for you, many of y'all, and y'all actually believed in this man. He would allow you to have a piece of the pie. Now that piece of the pie is spoiled. Okay.
Order will prevail.
This is not a ruling about whether or not federal immigration law is constitutional. This is all about how that law is being enforced.
Right, which they're just coming with civil rights. Okay, but Esau, civil. Right. Civil is meaning not barbarous or civilized. Right? So not like savage. Esau is a savage. Okay? So, don't that he's gonna come there polite. He beareth not the sword in vain. Okay? We could go into Esau nature being just a beast. Okay? The kingdom of heaven suffereth. This is Matthew chapter 11 and 12. It says here, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven, being the Israelites, suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. Okay, you had it, the Romans back then. Okay, and you have it even right now. You know, they're the new rebirth of the Roman Empire. Okay, and Esau is the violent. He's that violent man. He's bloodthirsty. Okay, he's coming into these cities, and he's pursuing Jacob with great violence and with the sword. So be on the look for more savage destruction. Let me leave off with Revelation 12 and 12, because I didn't get to read that verse. So Revelation chapter 12 and 12, it talk also, you know, how the dragon was wroth with the woman. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and them that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have a short time. Okay, and they're coming very speedily with these raids. Okay, so you know, don't be surprised if any of you get caught up in it. Okay, your next door neighbor, they could come for him and then just see you and grab you up too. Okay, it's indiscriminate. All right, it is profiled. Okay, and you have these different and bureaucratic offices, ACLU, these different civil and organizations are telling you, hey, these guys are breaking laws, you know. But Esau, he framed his law by deceit anyway. So, hey, just know what time we in. Shalom to the elect.